because it is an absolutely fantastic film.
Thank you.
I was wondering, Sam, the first question for you, tell us a little bit about where the idea came about for this film in the first place.
Well, for me, I was just sort of trying to modernize those 90s thrillers that I really loved, like movies like Fear and Swim Fan, which is like early noughties, but kind of like those late 90s teen thrillers. I was kind of wanting to make one of my own, just in homage, because I love those films so much. And this was kind of like my modern spin on it by adding that kind of modern technology aspect.
Yeah. Gabrielle, how did you become involved with it? Because you're producer and starring in the film, so tell us a little bit about how you became involved with it and what made you want to be involved with it.
Yeah, sure. So Sam actually cast me in one of my first acting roles years ago. I was 20, and we just hit it off really, really well. And I moved overseas for a while, and when I came back, Sam contacted me and said, I really want you to play one of the leads in my new film. And I read it. I'm like, I'm kind of interested in doing production side of things. Do you want me to produce? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then it kind of like turned into this like whole thing. And by the end of it, like we're both like, oh wow, that was a feature film that we just produced. That was insane. So yeah, I did it because I love Sam, and now it's paid off, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us a little bit about Rachel for those people out there who haven't had a chance to see the film.
Rachel is your best friend who has a very strong opinion on everything and doesn't care if it offends anyone. She's very, very loyal. I suppose she's kind of a modern spin on like the blonde, silly girl who normally doesn't survive, but thankfully my character... Oh no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. To be continued. But yeah, she's a fun best friend.
So, Ali, tell us a little bit about Kara as well and what drew you to play that character.
Yep, so Sam asked me specifically to audition for Kara. I would have been really sad if I didn't get it. Be like, like, yeah, sorry, you're not actually the one. No, but yeah, so I found her really interesting because I found that I was a little similar to her in terms of like wanting to be cheerful and happy all the time, but probably, nobody's really perfect that way and no one's life is perfect, and I think that's a very realistic side to her. Yeah.
Ali, what's that like when you go in for an audition and the director has asked you to audition? Does that make things a little bit easier for you, or does it actually put more pressure on you?
Good question. I think you start to wonder, like, what kind of person does the director see me as? Like, should I play up this bubbly side, or should I play up, like, the anxious side? So, I guess it's not really pressure, but it's more just, like, wanting to figure out, you want to please them, or at least I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah. So, Amy, the cinematographer, tell us a little bit about the cinematography in this film and what kind of look did you want to get for this film?
So I'd actually just come off the back of a feature that was like a coming of age, and it was all naturalistic, handheld aesthetic. So when Gabby asked if I wanted to jump on board what goes around, which stylistically was the complete opposite. Like, the references were 90s horror films like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, that kind of thing, very Hollywood lighting, which I personally love. So, yeah, just kind of coming off this other one, which is very different. I really jumped at the opportunity, and it was really fun because I felt like since it was inspired by these kind of films, we could really engage with those tropes and way of visual storytelling, which I feel like this day and age with contemporary cinematography and just what cameras are capable of, it's a lot more, like natural feeling, and lighting is very like pared back. And that kind of thing. So it was really fun to play around with like 3-point lighting and sort of really milk that aesthetic, which I feel isn't really done so much these days. So it was really fun doing that. And then just with the thriller horror genre as well, being able to make things quite moody and intense and really play around with, contrast and angles. And Sam really gave me free rein, I feel, to really, have fun with it and play around with, mostly lighting and angles. So yeah, it was really fun.
Amy, were you already a fan of horror and thrillers? Because I know a lot of cinematographers out there love to work on a good horror because you get to do so many different things that you don't get to do in other genres. So were you already a horror thriller fan?
I was, but not on like a nerd out sort of level, just in, horror, like pop horror films that I'd seen growing up that I really liked. So I was a fan in the sense that I do like the genre, but not on like a really sort of deep level. But like I said, growing up and watching a lot of those movies, I definitely did always want to shoot a thriller because it's about, building that suspense. And there's a lot of work that kind of goes into capturing the audience's, not only their attention, but taking them along for the ride and, having that timing of, the frights and that kind of thing. So it was definitely fun exploring that, genre for sure.
Definitely. Now, Sam, when these movies came out that you mentioned before, I was a nerd working in a video library and then a nerd at film school. But what drew you to those films? Because I know I love them. Films like Disturbing Behaviour, Valentine, I go back to them time and time again. What made you want to make a movie that was kind of in the same vein as those films?
Well, it's funny you say that because I was actually going to watch Disturbing Behaviour last night, but changed my mind. I think just because I happened to be sort of at the age at that time where like every Saturday my like event was kind of going to Blockbuster, and those were just the films that were coming out like during that era, sort of like that late primary school, early teens sort of period. So I think it's just kind of those films have a really nostalgic hold on me because they were kind of like my introduction to horror. Obviously, I've gotten into sort of a larger range of titles now, but yeah, those were kind of like my roots,
Yeah, definitely. And when you actually went about doing this movie, did it kind of scare you that this was your first feature? Because I know a lot of filmmakers out there keep on making shorts because they're terrified of taking that next step to making a feature film. What was the things that frightened you most about making a feature, and what things did you absolutely enjoy?
To be honest, I'd be more frightened of making a short because I feel like so many shorts just kind of go completely unnoticed. I know they can be used as like a good sort of calling card, but for me, I thought the best way to actually get my work noticed was to make a feature. So I was scared of doing it, but I thought instead of investing like all my money into a short that probably won't get seen outside of a few festivals, hopefully a feature will sell. So that was kind of like my goal there. I forgot the second part of the question.
What kind of things did you love about it? Like absolutely enjoy when you actually set onto the set and got to start directing a feature?
Probably the last day. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it was just because I think I had a lot of fun learning as I went along because I've never done a feature before and had very limited experience in general. So I think I was kind of just enjoying seeing, this is how these things are done, and coming up with some fun, like, lo-fi solutions to things. That's kind of what I just had the most fun doing, just like think every day we just kind of had to make it up. So.
So, Catherine, I guess this one is for you. Tell us a little bit about what it was like for you when you first picked up the script and read through it. What did you think, and what drew you to that script then after you read it?
Oh, Catherine's not actually here today. She couldn't make it last minute. Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. Same question then for Gabrielle.
Oh, yes. What were my thoughts when I read it?
Yeah, what did you think when you actually first read through the script?
Look, I'm not drawn to horror. I'm drawn to Sam. So I kind of read it and thought, oh my god, this is going to be hectic. My first I guess, initial thoughts were, how are we going to afford this? How are we going to pull it off with, under $20,000? But I think the thing that I really loved about it is the characters. I think it's really, really character driven, and Sam's quite clever in the way he writes it. You're hooked throughout the whole way, whether you're a fan of the genre or not. you kind of, it holds the audience. And I think that's what's really important. So I thought it was a really cool challenge. And especially, the characters definitely hold you through the entire story.
Yeah, and Ali, for you, what was that like when you read through the script? And reading through a horror script, are you constantly flipping page to page, trying to find out whether your character is still alive on the next page?
It's like, when do I have to stop learning my lines?
Yeah.
I loved it because it was like an ensemble cast. So you had like lots of different, really different but intersecting characters. So the relationships were super interesting. So even if you weren't a fan of horror, sorry, I'm a bit nervous, you would still be drawn to like the characters' relationships, how they evolved, or how, maybe they dealt with the trauma that happens in a horror movie. And I think that was like really cool for me because you saw that it was a very like grounded, honest approach to them dealing with all the circumstances. And then I was like, oh, cool. Like, I won't say about how long I but yeah, that's what I thought when I was reading through it. I was like, Sam, that's so cool, because I didn't realize that he was working on something like that. It was really cool.
So Sam and Gabrielle, I guess this is for you. The movie now is available for people to watch through Bounty Films, but what is your hope in the future for the film as well? Like, when everything picks up again, will you be looking to put it into festivals, maybe go overseas as well? What are the plans there for the film eventually?
Well, our plans is to kind of get it, so it's on Amazon Prime at the moment, so that's where you can catch it, guys. Our plan is to keep on pimping it out as much as possible. We can't really go to festivals anymore because the film's already distributed and out on a platform, but we just want to try. I've been just emailing every review site I can think of, anyone that I can think of who might know about promo, so really just getting it out there, because it's a really good showcase, I think, of what the whole crew can do, and that's why we made the film.
Yeah, I think Les from Bounty Films has been just absolutely amazing. So I'm sure he's got in the works getting some theatre releases and things like that. He's been a massive help ever since we approached him. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more releases in the future.
Definitely. Well, our review will be going up in a couple of days as well. So guys, congratulations again on this absolutely fantastic film. Like you said, it is a great ensemble film, so congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
And I guess to finish off, Sam, is there anything you would like to say to people out there before they sit down to watch the film on Amazon?
Just turn your brain back to 1997 and have a good time.